Hey, how's it going? Continue our little video series on installing IKEA cabinets and the hacks to make it look pretty. So what we're doing here is we're putting in the lowers and starting to get the process of doing that. So the first thing we have to do is we have to level the lowers. So get all the lower cabinets to be level and straight and give us a good starting point to be able to continue to build on. So the first thing you got to do in your kitchen is determine exactly how high you want your cabinets to be and what you want them to reference. So in other words, if you want all your cabinets to be the same height as, for example, this range, which is what I'm going to do, they're going to be the same height as the top of this range. I need to work off of that and work backwards to get everything to match that. So the goal here is to get the cabinets so that when we put our countertops on, it's totally flush to our range. So this will be just like an extension of the countertop, which is great because it'll look nice and basically it'll keep anything from hitting that little lip, and that'll be how we do it. So the first step in doing this is to hang these rails on the back where the cabinets are going to connect to them. So there's an example of how the cabinet connects. On each side are these little flanges, and those hook onto that lower sill of the rail, just like they did on the uppers. And we want to get that in the correct position. Now, what you need to do is you need to determine how thick your countertop is so that when you're putting these in, you're compensating for the thickness of the countertop and whatever else might be between the top of the cabinet and your final height. So in this case, I went down to the people who are going to put in our quartz countertop and I said, do you have any scrap? And they gave me a full 24-inch piece of scrap off of one of the builds. So this is the same thickness as what we're going to use. And if you take this piece and you set it on top of the cabinet, and they told me they just screw it in, they don't actually have to put anything below it, you'll see that the finished height will put us very close to flush with this range. Now, what I ended up doing is I am a little bit low, and the reason is the range has a curve on the top, and I wanna hit where it's flat. I don't wanna hit up here because that'll create like a little channel because it's curving away and food and stuff will get stuck in there. So I am actually gonna leave this a little bit prone or a little high. So that's gonna be the ultimate connection right there. So once you've determined that, you know what height to put these rails in. And then what I've done is I've cheated and I've used a ring laser, and I've shot a line. I don't know if you could see it really well. I've shot a line all along the room so that all the rails end up at the same height. So once you've done that, you're well on your way to be able to hang these cabinets. The next thing we need to do is we're gonna put feet on the bottom of these so that when we hang them, we can adjust the height of the front of the cabinet, and that will change the pitch. So this rail allows me to have a straight level cabinet along the wall. But what adjusts the height of the front of the cabinet is going to be these legs. So let's go down and take a look here. So this is a kick plate on this cabinet. And then if you peek around behind it, you can see the legs that I'm using. There are no legs on the back, so all that's holding it is that rail up on the wall. So then when we adjust the height of the legs, we can change the tilt down or up on the front of the cabinet, and we can find level. It's tricky to find level on a cabinet. We're finding we have to be level left and right, up and down, side to side, everything's gotta be level. So this allows us to compensate for height differences in the floor. Then you can see the mechanism that connects this to the kick plate. So the kick plate just has this little hand, and when you push forward, it grabs it, and then the kick plate extends underneath it. And then there's a gap. And then this is the actual cabinet right here that you're gonna see. So that's what we're in the process of doing, is installing those kick plates. So just to reiterate, the levelness of the cabinets side to side happens by putting this rail in nice and level. The levelness of the cabinets front to back is determined by those feet. And then once you get those two level, the cabinets will be straight up and down because they're square. So if you can get 2 out of the 3, you'll be in great shape. It is not easy to get this whole thing to be totally level. It's a lot more tricky in reality than just talking about it. And then finally, the last thing is make sure that you know how thick your countertop's gonna be, because it'd be a shame to go to all this effort and then you find out, oh, well, the counter's actually much thinner or much thicker, and now I've got to move everything up or down. That's a lot of work. You don't want to do that. You want to have it preset so that ultimately when you put your counter in, you've got this good kick plate, nice looking drawers, good counter, and everything is level and fits just like you want it to up against a stove or whatever else, you know, you're trying to finally get to. All right, I hope that helps someone out with leveling the lowers. Good luck.